Hello, everybody. This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who will often collect forest moss on his head and call himself a chia pet, Carl Mandrioli. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Welcome to the Backpacking Bushes podcast, brought to you by Enlightened Equipment, makers of the best ultralight quilts on the market. Please check them out at enlightenedequipment.com. With me today is Derek Somerville, the one man who believes Yosemite was made a national park so people wouldn't take it for granted.
Another granite joke. We're going
Another
granite joke. You didn't. You should listen to our podcast. I think.
I probably should. You're
right.
Like
I've probably repeated jokes like, I don't know, 12 times. Like when I used to use floss, you would floss with like something from nature.
You still do that when you talk
like you use floss. Like, God. So granite's your thing. I've discovered. Okay, well that's good.
Okay, we got top 10 national park backpacking trails. We're digging in here, and so it was like a few months ago we put out like the worst national parks for backpacking. So now we're doing the best, and not just the best national parks, but specifically the trails or the general areas that we like to go to.
Trails.
And yeah, so what's your criteria for like the best backpacking locations?
My criteria are there's so many things to choose from. I would say does it have epic views from like, let's say like a mountaintop or a pass or lakes of certain, sometimes like the last trip we went on didn't have a lot of like big, huge mountains, but the lakes were just phenomenal. I would say trail, like accessibility, meaning like, is it well marked? Is it easy to figure out where you're going? Or is it like Banff and you're just wandering around with a GPS, wondering if you're in the right spot? and adding miles to your trail. Yeah. So I would probably start with that. I would start there. I mean, there's, that's good. What about you? What's your
top? We hit on a couple of them. Trail quality, like it's not just torn up and destroyed or trash or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to the best spots, you're going to get crowds, but my expectation is the crowds thin out after a couple miles. That's my hope. Yeah. If you're going to like a big time destination, they may not, but at least for a good chunk of the time, the hope is that it's not gonna be crowded. So
agree.
Yeah. Those are mine.
Lack of crowds. Okay.
Yeah. We'll probably have some of the same ones. We'll find out. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Bible verse the episode, Isaiah 35:1, the wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom like the crocus. This is a prophecy about the shape of things to come. Can you give another example of when the land is glad?
When the land is glad.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm going to go outside the box a little bit. The box. This is a real.
I think I know exactly what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I don't think you have any idea when the land is glad. I think, ironically, you're going to mock me. That's fine, though. I'm going to go with it. I think the land is glad after, like, a fire or, like, volcanic eruption. Because then, the soil is, like, like, things begin to grow again. And it's fresh. Totally. And the land is glad.
Yeah.
Does that mean,
That's good.
That's what I was going to say?
That's not what I thought.
What do you think I was going to say?
When I walk barefoot upon it.
Oh, geez. That's so cheesy. That's so cheesy.
I know.
I mean, it's probably true, though.
Humor.
It's probably true, though.
Welcome to Derek's humor. Yeah.
Better than puns. That's my motto. Better than puns.
That's true. All right. So, typically we put out these disclaimers. We haven't been to all the national parks in the world. So this is our opinion. So kind of take it for what it's worth. But I don't think so for this episode. I think these are the top 10, folks. Like it's not up for debate. What Derek and I say, these are legitimately the top 10. And if you disagree, then you're wrong. Is that fair?
This is it. Yeah. Nobody's going to troll that. Nobody's going to have a comment. They're all going to just agree.
Yeah. I'm tired of disclaimers. People are just overly sensitive out there. Of course you can disagree, but it doesn't mean that you're right. These are the best, folks. Best. These are top 10. No argument. So if you want the best, you got to go here.
Yeah, that's true. We're not that podcast that's going to just roll over. We're just going to tell you what's up. And you're gonna have to take it. So there we go.
That being said, we haven't been to all of them. We haven't been to all the national parks.
I actually, so I know we each did 5, right? And one of our criteria
we're doing top 10, so you 5, I 5, right?
Yeah. So one of the criteria that I had And then part of it was like we were going to include one that we haven't been to that might be in a different country or somewhere international, something like that.
I said, one from a different country, one that we hadn't been to. They could be the same one, I suppose.
Well, I had 2, so I kind of cheated. I did 3 that I love, and then 2 that I haven't been to. So
that's fine.
I cheated a little bit. So, but they're all good.
Be the same way. Yeah, I think I might be the same way.
All right. Well, I know.
Okay.
Top
10, number 10. What you got?
Number 10. We're gonna go with Yosemite. You could.
Wait, Yosemite for number 10?
Look, I think this is what we're gonna have. The issue is gonna be this. Okay. You did your 5. I did my 5. We tried not to overlap. I think some of these would naturally overlap, but we tried to not overlap. Could Yosemite be like 2? Probably. Number 1, probably. But they're all, these top 10 are they're just magical. So you can't really go wrong with any of these, right?
Well, yeah, you can. You can be wrong if you disagree with us.
Well, wrong. But we're still right. That's what we were saying. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, where in Yosemite, like Yosemite's massive. Yosemite has around 1,000 miles of trails, and there are some trails that are not that good in Yosemite. I've been on them. There's a lot of awesome stuff. What are you talking about?
We're going to go through each trail one at a time. Ready? Here we go. Number 1,000 is, no, just kidding. I specifically like the area we went to, and you might mention this too, but like we went through like Tuolumne Meadows, and it was part of the Red Peak Pass Trail over this peak. That was the peaks. Was the peak? Is the peak 12,000-ish feet? Did I get? What was it? How high is that peak?
I don't know. I feel like you're nonsense at this point. So
no. The Red Peak Pass
is a pass, not a peak. Is that what you're talking about?
The Red Peak Pass. The Red Peak Pass peak.
Okay.
The Red Peak Pass.
I don't know how much the peak itself is, but we didn't get to the peak.
The pass. The Red Peak Pass. I don't know why I'm saying.
You could access it from Tuolumne Meadows, but that's not how we did it.
Well,
we went the
backwards way. We went both ways through Red Peak Pass.
Okay.
Like the one way, and then the other time we went the back way.
There's like 17 different ways because of the network.
Okay, well, regardless,
none of them did we go. We never went to Tuolumne Meadows to do this, but just
did we didn't? No. Oh, I'm thinking Tuolumne Meadows, and we went
Glacier. The Glacier Point area is what you're thinking.
Glacier Point. That's Glacier Point. Okay. Yeah. So Red Peak Pass, is about over 12,000, but it's so vast. There was a section in it that's my favorite section. And this is the section, the first time I ever did it, where I saw you waiting there, taking a break, and then I got there, and you're like, "All right, you ready to go?" Like 2 seconds later,
that's your favorite section.
No, because it like before I got to you, it was so peaceful. It looked like the Shire. It looked like Lord of the Rings Shire, and I was like, "This is so awesome!" And it had all these like little peat moss everywhere, these little streams, little mini lakes. I'm like, "This is really awesome." And then you have this like vast like just view of like this whole area with mountains and it's just beautiful. So that was probably my favorite section of that whole trail. And then
there's some stuff I like that. I feel like it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Is that the best one?
I'll say this: when we did it the other way, like going up, the first time we did it going up this way, not as enjoyable, but going the other way and going down after we went through the paths to that huge granite area with the waterfalls, and there was like that bear claw mark in the rock, and all that is just.
Wait a second, I don't know what
you remember that
claw to rock.
You remember this? And it was like,
was it fossilized?
It was like 3 claw marks. I'm like, how? It did not look like anything but a bear claw. It was crazy. Okay. So that when you come around the corner and see that like waterfall like area with the granite, it kind of takes your breath away because you're like, this is so massive and kind of like awe-inspiring. So I would say that and the Shire are my favorite parts of that trail.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like that one a lot too. So that's easy to say. I think so. There's another spot in Yosemite which is a loop, which is called the Grand Canyon of Tuolumne Meadows, and that's like a 50-mile loop. It's a hard trip. Most spots where you start is like a massive downhill, so that means that you're typically going to end with a massive uphill, and because you got to kind of climb down into the canyon.
Yeah,
that one's got I don't know. It doesn't have quite the epic scenery you're describing. It's got the waterfalls. It's got there's actually an area there that has like guaranteed rattlesnakes. Like you're gonna see like 2 to 3 snakes while you're there.
That sounds fun.
I kind of like that, but okay, I guess that's better. You're right. All right. So
Yeah.
that's number 10.
That's number 10. What's
Number
yours?
9. This is one I have not been to, but it is on my list. I'm really hoping to get to this. It's Mount Aspiring National Park in New Zealand.
Wait, you're already starting your one that you haven't been to. You're leading with it.
Yeah, it's low on the list because I haven't been there, so I don't know. I mean, all I know is what the research I've done for it, right?
Okay. All right.
Pictures,
then I gotta bump.
videos.
I gotta put my other ones I haven't been to. Then
You don't have to do anything. You
I
just
might.
do.
They're all good, you guys. Just who cares
Don't
what
feel
order they're in?
peer pressure. Just do your list.
You're right. You know
okay?
what? You're right. You're right.
All right. Calm down. All right. So this one, you'll have to, I mean, I don't know that we're going to like do the kind of play-by-play on the scenery here, but it has the epic scenery. It's on the South Island of New Zealand, which is my favorite place. Like one of my favorite foreign places to go. There's just
100%.
awesome stuff everywhere. And one thing that New Zealand's known for is, I don't know if it's the rock or what's going on, but when you look at the water, it's like blue, like crystalline blue water everywhere.
It's like a teal.
Yeah,
right?
It just looks like you just want to like stick your face in there and drink it without filtering.
That's 100% true. Now, when I was in the South Island, it was like I just remember the lakes being like a teal, and I remember thinking, how untouched it seemed. Everything just seemed so pure out there.
Right.
You know,
like the animals don't go to the bathroom water ever, and so you can just like drink and not even worry about it.
Who needs a filter? Probably don't even need a filter.
But I want to go there, and I feel like I drove right by there when we were there. I kind of skirted the edge, but
yeah. I was gonna say before I forget, I don't know how far this is from, or if you know where this is, but do you know how far that is from Arthur's Pass? Because we did a little bit of Arthur's Pass.
Yeah,
but I don't know if is it the same area?
Like King Arthur's Pass?
Maybe I'd have to look it up.
Is that where is the Sword in the Stone in one of those lakes? That'd be awesome.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We're throwing out things that not everybody can reference. Just check out Mount Aspire National Park, New Zealand. That is my number 9.
So gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Derek, number 8. What you got?
I like that. Okay, I'm gonna go with one I have not been to. It's the Redwood National State Park in California.
Wait, just to clarify, it's a national state park.
What did I put here? National.
It's a national park. You got it right.
Park. What did I put state for there? Oh, I think
there's some state park stuff up there too.
No. Yeah.
I can't believe redwoods are cool, man. They're super cool.
I know.
Top 10,
dude. Because you can go to Lake Big Sur, which is an national park. We know, and they have big redwoods. These are even bigger redwoods. These are like the biggest in the world redwoods.
You're saying that a place called Redwood National Park actually has big redwoods?
Bigger redwoods. I know, crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, it's got about 40 miles of trails. It's on the coast. Okay. There's some smaller trails like Little Bald Hill Trail, and all that. There's various things that go along the coast in there, and it's
is the Bald Hill like a treeless hill? Is that
correct? Yeah, it's a treeless hill, Carl. That's what it is.
Bald Hill.
Look, I didn't make the names. I just want to go. Okay, I want to see the big boys. Those are the biggest boys on the earth, man. Jeez.
If I was making my own top 10, Redwoods is a cool place. I went there as a kid, but it would not make my top 10 at all.
Dude.
Certainly wouldn't beat Yosemite and Mount Aspiring. Are you kidding me?
It's like, still
Yosemite has big trees. Why would you come on?
Yosemite has big trees. Redwood Forest has the biggest trees.
They're bigger. I get it.
I don't know if you do. Do you get it? They're red and they're wood.
All right. We'll find out. That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay. That's your number. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that at Yosemite.
It's on there. Dude, it's something to see. That's all I can say. Okay. There's trees that are like thousands of years old over there. What are you talking about?
That's pretty old.
Maybe you don't appreciate history. Maybe you don't appreciate it. I don't know.
Tree history?
Yeah.
Do you count, like when you see a tree that's been logged, do you count the rings in the stump?
Maybe your roots and your soul aren't strong like the redwood, and maybe you need time with the redwood. Maybe that's it.
Time with the tree.
Maybe you're a weak man. You need the redwoods to strengthen you.
Okay.
I don't know. That's on my list. Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Number 7 on my list is Kings Canyon National Park. It's most famous for the Ray Lakes Loop, which is a hard permit to get, and part of that loop is the John Muir Trail, and the John Muir Trail section is the section of trail that I'm talking about. You can say the Ray Lakes Loop, but I love Kings Canyon. I don't know if I love the whole park. I don't know if I love the access to it, but the John Muir Trail section, you're just like, up and over a pass, down into a valley, up and over a pass, down into a valley. All the passes are epic. All the valleys are beautiful. The only issue with this one, which keeps it from getting ranked higher, is that it is definitely a bear zone. And then another thing that taints it is, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a ranger on who used to be the backcountry ranger at the Ray Lakes area.
Oh, right.
And he's like, were you the one that left Tupperware in the bear box 25, 30 years ago?
In the bear box. Tupperware in the bear box?
Bear boxes installed at their backcountry campsites. And so we were talking about stuff. I was telling him I'd been there. Maybe I was there when he was there. And then he like accused me of littering, basically.
Did you tell him you know a guy named Mike?
This is pre-Tupperware Mike, so I guess it could have been Tupperware Carl had I actually done that, but I didn't bring Tupperware, so that would.
But maybe Tupperware Mike did it. Is what I'm saying, and he didn't tell you.
I'll ask him. Okay. Yeah, I'll ask him. That's a good question.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was. We were on Catalina. One of our compadres mentioned the Ray Lakes Trail and how beautiful it was. Yeah. And this is the only trail that they would do again, like a second time. It was just so gorgeous, even though the permit's hard to get. So, yeah, okay.
Would you do Catalina a second time?
Yeah, I would. I would do it again.
I think I would too. I had a really good time.
It was a great park trail in such a different way. I kind of, you know what? I gotta say, I didn't think I would say this, but when I was taking the taxi ride and getting the tour from the old man, he's like, the guy who made this trail didn't know what he was doing because he didn't add in enough switchbacks. And I'm like, I kind of liked that the uphill was kind of in a straight line. I kind of liked it.
I don't know why. Pretty steep spots.
What?
There's some pretty steep spots where we're descending steep spots. We're like, there's like a 70% chance I'm just gonna fall in this section because
that one section on the last day was gnarly, I will say. Yeah. But other than that, it was pretty sweet actually.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can't make our list because it's not a national park, but that's cool that it's a spot you go back to. So maybe
Catalina Trail, you guys need to check it out. Do it.
Yeah. Different back. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but I did. So okay. Yeah. That's beside the point. All right. So Kings Canyon is my number 7. What's number 6?
Okay. Number 6 is I'm gonna go with the Olympic National Park in Oregon or Washington.
And when you say Olympic National Park, do you mean the one in Washington?
That's what I said. I said Oregon. I mean Washington. We can do hearing tests later after the podcast is over. That'd be awesome.
If you don't mind, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean I'm here for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so Olympic, I think we kind of did like the southern part of the park, right? And that was cool. The thing about Olympic National that was really neat to me was the forest. Like we've been in like forest areas with like Yosemite and other places in Colorado and stuff, but like this forest area just seems so much different to me. I don't know why. Like we had a whole section of downhill that we were just going up and over between logs, and it was just like a different feeling because you're in Washington, you're in Oregon, and it's just different, cooler weather, and the forest is just seemed bigger and more dense. I don't know how to explain it. It just was. I mean, you had to work through the forest, whereas like normal parks, Yosemite parks and Glacier, like you're just kind of going right through the trail. It's not a big deal. But this one, you had to we were like hoofing it over these trees. It took a while. It was kind of cool. We saw a lot of dead skeletons.
When you say it was a different feeling. Did you ever feel like you were being watched?
Like with the Bigfoot, we did see some skeletons of various creatures.
We did,
and it had. Here's what it is. It had like kind of a maybe because it is a Sasquatch, and the rangers and the police were like, yeah, we have monthly meetings of Sasquatch every month or week.
The police said that
after the trip. Remember, they're like, yeah, we have the weekly meeting here at the lodge or whatever, and they were like dead serious. Anyway. I think what made it stand out was
one of those meetings. How do I get in on one of those meetings?
I don't think they would let foreigners like us from California in there.
I'm not a foreigner.
You're not from Washington, dude. Sorry.
So if I'm a Washington resident, you're saying I could go to the meeting?
Correct. You have to have a driver's license. Anyway, it just the forest in this park just had this like mystical feel to it, and we found this like tree that had been knocked over that was so big, the roots were so big, like we fit I think we had 9 guys, if I remember right. We had like 9 guys, and that ended up being like the trip picture like on this tree, which I still have in my house. It was such a cool different vibe in there, and gorgeous.
Okay, wait, say 9 guys again.
So 9 guys. 9.
When you say it like that, it sounds like you're saying 9 times, like from Ferris Bueller. It has like the same voice quality.
9 times we got on this tree roots and got in our positions. It was great.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And because you kept blinking.
So go find a tree go find a knocked over tree, I think is Derek's advice.
That's my tree. Yeah. That's my advice.
But yeah, no, it was, this was like a backup trip. This was a plan B trip. We were trying to get to North Cascades National Park. We got rejected. And then by the time we got rejected, all of the most popular spots in Olympic got taken. So this was like leftovers of plan B.
Yeah.
And it was stinking epic. And so
the leftovers were epic. I remember
we did like a through hike through the park and really, okay, here's the key detail you're missing is if you want to, like, if this is a true top 10, then you got to say like part of your journey has to include Shuttle Driver Bill. If you're really going to do this trip, I will actually give you his contact information so that you can have a shuttle from him and his dog and his 1978 minivan. And then you can experience all that he has to offer, and he'll start throwing your gear out the window like Derek suggests.
It wasn't out the window, it was out the trailer. But I will quote verbatim. I'm in the back of the van. I said, "Hey, Bill, how many times?" No, I said, "Have you ever seen a Sasquatch in this forest?" He said, dead serious. He says, "Yeah, I've seen a few. And he said something like they're pretty incredible." And I'm like, "Did you ever get them on film?" "Nah, they're too smart for that. They're too smart." I'm like, "What do you mean they're too smart for that?" I don't get it.
There's a whole narrative on that. That's different episode, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
My gosh.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. That's funny.
Okay.
I agree. Because this one, I'm with you. It should be in the top 10. So yeah. And especially if you're looking for diversity, if you're looking to go different places, this definitely earns that spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Number five, I could probably put this a little bit higher, but this is one of my near and dear places to my heart, which is Canyonlands National Park, specifically the Needles District. This is a great place for adults and for kids.
Yeah.
We had somebody wreck a Canyonlands trip one time where we had like a bunch of kids with us and we had to leave a day early, and they were upset. They're on the trip. They're upset.
Wow.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you guys are on your way. Are you excited?" And the kids are like, "No, we want to stay and play on the rocks." And it was just, like that's how much people love it. As far as like where to go, you can't really go wrong. If you hit, there's like 3 main regions of the park. Chesler Park's pretty dang cool, but if you hit any of this, like there's a way you can hit all the regions. But the key is you got to figure out a way where you can do a water drop, where you get to your second camp and you can kind of run and grab some waters, because that is annoying. I don't know. Like they say there's no water there, but I feel like it's rained literally every single time I've gone there. So what do I know?
The water drop is annoying. I will say it's such a different type of park too, because you have all the slot canyons, and it's so easy to like just run up these types of rocks where you can't really do that in a lot of these other parks. It created like a really cool feel. Like we had a little photo shoot in a slot canyon in Canyonlands. You remember that little photo shoot?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So
it's a photo shoot. Somebody took a picture of us. It's not a photo shoot.
I mean, it was like 5 pictures, so I'm gonna consider that a shoot. But anyway, it was cool because it was just a totally different feeling type of trip. So yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, and I typically like invite multiple families on this trip, and I invited one family, and they're like appreciative, but they're just kind of like, I don't know how excited they are to go on the backpacking trips. I think they are more excited to do things as a family where their family's engaged. But the person recently just said, they're like, "I really want to go back to Canyonlands." I was like, I took that as a compliment, as a place that we picked that was good. So anyway, you can't mess that one up.
When the kids are sad, you know you did something right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's my number 5. Number 4, what you got?
Number 4, geez. Okay, I guess this is one out of the country. This is in Vietnam, actually. It's called
what?
It's called I really actually want to go do this maybe next year. This is called Fang Na Bang. Fang Na Bang National Park. It's in Vietnam.
Does it have forest?
Was it? What did you say?
Forest?
No. There's no well, let me explain. This is the largest cave in the world. It's like 5.6 something miles long or whatever, 60 feet tall. They discovered it only in 1991. It has its own jungle within the cave, and there's trees everywhere in the cave because light can kind of get through the cracks and stuff through various parts of the cave. So it has all this cool stuff in there. You can camp in there, you can hike in there, you can kayak in there. Wow. It looks phenomenal. I've been looking at it for a little over a year now, and I really want to try and go do like a
Are you
guided tour.
camping on and kayaking in like bat guano?
I hope so. Let's get some guano shots. You know what I mean? Let's get some guano shots. Why not?
Like if you're in a cave, you're probably not getting a ton of rain on top of your tent. But when you wake up in the morning, is there bat guano? Like you have to like clean off your rain fly?
Drip, drip. I think the bats have their own little section, you know, but the bats like it dark. Bats like it dark. You know what I mean? Like this is like a big
There's like
cave.
the bat room, and then there's the
there's the bat room, there's the kayak room, there's the spelunker room, the jungle room. Okay. You know? So
I'll give it to you that you made it sound interesting, but when you say Vietnam, like not interested. I'm not a big like.
You don't like to travel. I get it. It's fine.
I like to travel, but I don't want to go to places that are super humid, that are
you're in a cave, dude.
That have things that crawl over you inside your tent, that are that have spiders as big as your face. I don't want any of that stuff.
When does that stop you? Come on, you live in Australia. They have like the most deadly animals in the world there, and you can't go a little cave.
In a house though.
You can't do a little
battling cockroaches in the house, not.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would rather.
Here's where I'm at. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, and this is probably going to bite me later with Carl here to hear this, but I would rather be in a cave in Vietnam with creepy crawlies than in a house with flying cockroaches. I hate cockroaches. Hate them. Not afraid of them.
You can make the case for that.
Hate them.
Yeah.
When I was in Fiji, I had one land right on my neck. It flew on my neck. Yeah. I lost it. I think I screamed like a little girl. It was pretty bad.
Oh my gosh. So typically where we were, people do the kind of the bug spray, the exterminator stuff.
Yeah.
And we did a house swap. We did a job swap, a teacher exchange, and they didn't spray. So when we got there, like it wasn't like infested, but there were cockroaches every night I was battling.
So nasty.
And I remember, and it was hot, and they didn't have air conditioning. We were in a, basically like a semi-tropical environment. So here's my favorite story is when I was sleeping at night, like I didn't have the blanket on because it's just so hot.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't like fully asleep. I was kind of like halvesies, and something was on my leg. And so I subconsciously like brushed it off.
Oh,
and then I hear a thump on the ground. Like it was so heavy.
A thump?
It made a thump. And I woke up. I was like, "What the heck is that?"
What? It was like a badger.
It was a really
like
big
what
cockroach.
The heck? Dude, that's nasty. And did they fly over there or no?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
We finally sprayed it. Pretty much calmed them down. But the neighbors. Oh yeah. So they didn't spray. The neighbors were against spraying. So if you went to the neighbor's house, which is obviously right next door, but it was like you could access their side yard, and that's where they store their trash cans. If you like rolled a trash can back, it was like there's 1 million cockroaches right there.
Oh my.
Yeah. It's kind of like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, like crawling through that bug cave. It was kind of like that.
Oh yeah. I thought I'd seen it all with cockroaches, and then I saw a completely white cockroach, and it just set me off. I was like, that's next level. I don't have time. But it's just when you see a white cockroach, you're like, is this the king? Is this the queen? Is this like a defective cock? I don't know. Just
if you killed it, maybe that will end all cockroaches. Like it just ends the entire species.
You think so? I could have got that lucky. That's all right. Next time I see it.
Okay. All right. So, number 3.
Okay. Number 3.
So this is another foreign one. This is one that I have researched a ton. We almost did this one a couple years ago. Yeah. Besides, like instead of doing the Great Divide Trail, this is called the Rockwall Trail. Okay. And it's near Banff, and it's in a national park called Kootenay National Park. There's kind of like 3 or 4 national parks just right in that same area. And it's very famous. Folks have probably heard of this trail. It's a little bit of a bummer because I feel like that I got to check the campfire stuff, but I feel like the campfires are banned, but it's just beautiful nonstop, a little bit crowded. There's different access. If you really want to do research, there's different access points, which makes it easier in the permits to get to. And anyway, it's Kootenay National Park, Rockwall Trail. It's very famous. It's very awesome. I would like to do that one. So that's on my list.
Okay. Kootenay. Yep. Okay. Number 2. We got number 2. I picked the old, one of your favorites, Glacier National.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Glacier National out of Montana. We did the what did we do? We did the Stony Indian Pass, I believe, right? Now,
yeah, and it was kind of a loop, kind of like a point to point, depends on how you do it, but yeah,
kind of a loop point to point. So pluses of this were, I think I stopped and took like 1 million pictures because the views, the flowers, the smells, the lakes, the the views from the top of the mountain peaks and all this. It was
It's got
just
everything.
It's just you can't go wrong. And we didn't even get. I remember you saying like we didn't even get that great of an area, and it was still like 8, 9 out of 10 out of 10.
No, we got a great area. We got that. Was awesome.
It was so good though, because you were saying
okay. I think what you're thinking of is because we only had 4 days there. I had to cut. There was like you could loop back around through another awesome area, but we had to cut it short and kind of like head out to this other trailhead through a burn zone, which still had a pretty cool area in that zone. But there was a lot of miles where we were just kind of walking through burn zone. But had we looped it back around to,
because you were talking up another area. Yeah, you were talking up another area, and I was like, yeah, like this is kind of the leftovers.
Yeah, we could have done it in 4 days. Not,
and it was another area where you're like, this is the leftovers. Are you serious? Like, what is the good area? It was just amazing. The only thing I didn't really vibe with was, as you know, I like to start my fires, and the fires are only for like car camping areas. You can't do a lot of the backpacking areas. You cannot do fires. So
all of them,
and it's like, if it's cold, it's like nobody likes that. We all like a fire.
I don't know why. There's areas or there's national parks which are more dangerous to have campfires than that are allowed. That the lack of continuity between national parks in terms of regulations is
very strange. Very strange.
Yeah. So, but my prediction is eventually all national parks are gonna be like no campfires anywhere ever.
Oh,
so that's my prediction.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
It's gonna be
okay.
Except
like
Catalina. Which isn't a state park.
Yeah, that's not a national park.
But it's still awesome. So yeah, Glacier. Yeah, that's up there for sure.
All right. Number one. Number one best backpacking trip is Yosemite. You said that for number 10. Highly inappropriate in my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of trails, so I have one specific. Okay. This is one. The only issue with this is that you are going to hit some folks in some sections. You're going to hit some crowds. It does allow campfires, but Tuolumne Meadows is amazing. So you start there, and you do a point. You can go either direction, point to Yosemite Valley, which are the two kind of main tourist spots, hot spots in the park. Correct. And they have a really good busing system, which will actually allow you to, to basically get a shuttle from one point to another. And it's not even that expensive. I think it's like $20.
Cheap, very cheap.
From one side of the park to the other. At least it was when last time we did it. Anyway, so I would do that trail. You're going to hit all the highlights. If you can obtain a permit to go up Half Dome and you're not afraid of heights, add that. And when you descend into Yosemite Valley, it's going to be a crowded trail, but it's epic. It's called the Mist Trail, where you have the mist from Vernal Falls.
Yes.
Basically spraying you, cooling you off in the hot summer sun.
Yes.
There's a really good spot to go swimming at the top of Vernal Falls. And you should definitely do that if you're looking to die, because people keep on doing that and they go right over the falls. I don't know what the issue is.
What are they thinking?
Have railings and everything.
What are they thinking? That's all I'm going to say.
Like literally right next to the falls, the water's swift, and they're like, I'm going to go swimming here. Well,
it won't suck me down at all. Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know what I was just thinking about is I have never actually, of all the times I've been in Yosemite, I've never actually been to the top Half Dome ever.
Okay.
I went 3/4 of the way when I was like 10 years old with my family, and then I got too tired, went back down. And then we walked by I think, was it like the back entrance trail that I think Rocky,
I could turn off for it. Yeah.
I think Rocky was wearing his like Friar Tuck outfit, Nacho Libre, something. I don't know, something like that. And we walked by. I was like, oh, Half Dome's this way. I'm like, oh, Half Dome. Yeah. And do
you want to do it? Like, do you want to do it?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I obviously, if it worked out, I wouldn't
hate it.
We wouldn't have to because we've done everything around there, right? Like a lot of it around there. Like, so if we went back to
just say you want to do it, just be like, this is on my life list and we can make it happen. If you're just like, I could do it, then it's just not.
It's not on my life list, but if we fit it into a trip, I would do it, of course.
Okay.
We'll leave it like that. It's not like I wouldn't be like crushed if I never did it, but it's if we were over there, and let's try to fit it in.
And that's how Derek motivates me to get the best permits.
I'm looking at Vietnam, not Half Dome. That's what I'm looking at. Okay.
Okay, so you're saying you're more likely to go to the Vietnam Bat Guano Cave than you are to Half Dome. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, the Bat Guano Jungle Kayak Cave over Yosemite. You know what I mean?
All right. So there you go. Do you
10.
Disagree? If so, you're wrong. These are the top 10. Okay, maybe not.
Nobody's disagreeing.
Had something I didn't like. I think I had.
You loved all of them.
Yosemite twice.
Yeah, Yosemite
Okay.
twice. Yeah, nobody's gonna
Yeah,
say anything
Yosemite
about
twice.
that. Nobody's saying anything about that.
Okay. Shockingly enough, I've got national parks trivia coming up right after this.
Whoa!
Out on the trail, capability isn't optional, it's essential. That's why I'm using case knives. Boom. Built for whatever comes your way, these knives have been trusted for more than 100 years. On the job, in the wild, and even to the moon. Made with craftsmanship in Bradford, Pennsylvania, every case knife is a piece of American grit you can count on. Whether you're splitting kindling, cutting paracord, or just cutting up some tape to take care of a blister. Case knives, every day capable. The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Roan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Roan uses rock solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, Derek, I got 5 for you, and in order to pass this trivia, you got to get all 5 correct, because here's the deal.
What is this?
I know, react before I can explain.
Making up rules
Please
as we go. Just making up rules.
I'll tell you why. So on our most recent backpacking trip to Catalina, we had backpacking Jeopardy, and one of the guys on the trip suggested national parks as a category. So the category was, I name the national park, you have to name the state that it's in.
Oh, geez.
So we literally just did this, and
you're gonna make me recall
same exact ones.
We didn't. This is okay. 1, poor trivia prep. You're just doing a repeat. 2, we didn't even select all of those 4 trivia points, even though we won the trivia.
You did. Yes, you did. You'll recognize
humble brag. But I don't remember.
Humble.
I don't remember. Non-humble brag. Okay. I don't remember. I'll probably forget 1 or 2. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's just try.
Okay. We said poor trivia prep. We've had national parks trivia like 10 times. Like, how many stinking different national parks? This has to be the last one, right? Right?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to get these. Okay, here we go.
I probably won't, but let's go.
My first one is, so you got to tell me the state. Acadia.
Oh, see, I don't, he said, okay, I know, and Mike even answered this one. I can't remember where it is. It's like in, is it in like, it's like east of Kansas, correct? It's like over there somewhere in that part of the country.
But west of the Atlantic Ocean. So
gosh, dude. What did he say? Oh my gosh.
I'll come back to you. All right. Big Bend.
All right. Oh, hang on. Big Bend.
We talked about this, had a conversation about, should we make this a Patreon trip?
No, I know.
You're like, where's Big Ben? And I told you, and then we had it again in trivia. All right, I'll tell you, I'm gonna modify. Seeing as how I didn't realize that that your memory's gotten this bad in your 80s, so you got to get 3 of these. Okay, 3 out of the 5.
Okay, 3 go. I'm waiting for the question I know you're gonna ask that I actually got right. So I think it's the next one.
It's not Hot Springs.
Oh, dude, I've never been there. Hot Springs, Arizona.
Okay. Arkansas, you get the A right.
Arkansas.
Carlsbad Caverns.
New Mexico.
New Mexico, you got 1. All right. Big Sur.
Not a national park.
Here's how that went down. Is I said Big Sur, and then somebody's like California, and I said incorrect. And then somebody else was like California. I was like, still incorrect. And then one person's like, I don't think Big Sur's a national park. They were like whispering to the teammate right next to Derek's ear. And Derek's like, not a national park.
It was so great. That was so great. And then they were like so upset that I got that right.
They're like, oh. The reason why that was hard is because that was the first one that was asked and people didn't get in the rhythm of that category. But anyway, all right, 2. You got to get 1 more out of Acadia and Big Bend. You got to get 1 of those.
Gosh, Acadia. What did he tell me? It was
really should know Big
Kentucky.
Bend.
Kentucky. Was it Kentucky?
It is not Kentucky. Acadia's Maine.
Oh, it's Maine. I thought he said Kentucky.
Down to the last one, Big Bend.
I'm gonna fail trivia for the first time in a while, guys. Big Bend. I keep thinking of Horseshoe Bend from the,
That is
Big Bend. I'm gonna
Bend,
say
Oregon. That's not those.
It's not Bend, Oregon either. I'm gonna say Big Bend. Is it west of Kansas?
Kansas is a very large territory, so
Kansas is right in the middle, dude. Is it left or right?
Yeah, but it's not a line. Left. It's like a chunk.
It's left.
Okay.
Is it left? It's above. Oh wait, no. I know where it is. It's Texas.
Where? Texas. There you go.
Golly, it took me a minute,
dude. Like typically Googling is faster than that. What happened?
Arkansas. Totally forgot that one. Where was Hot Springs?
Yeah. You got that one right. New Mexico. Oh no, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Arkansas. That's one.
New Mexico. Yeah.
No, I got that one. And then
okay.
the main one. I couldn't remember the main one.
Yeah.
Arcadia.
Yeah. Acadia, close enough.
Or Arcadia
is like
Arcadia is in California with the
all right.
It was like
You passed. It was
hallelujah. That was close.
Passed. Okay.
That was brutal.
All right. Couple tidbits. So yeah, we would love if you would be interested in joining the Patreon family. We've got ad-free episodes every week. We have ad-free archive episodes. We got our next Patreon trip coming up to Oregon, around Mount Hood, the Timberline Trail. That's coming up in August. Actually, I'm not even sure if that's sold out by the time this episode comes out. Well, so maybe that I shouldn't be talking about that, but I'm talking about it anyway. And then, yeah, we got all sorts of stuff on there. And then also, first week of June, we're starting our B&B June Bible study every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. You can make it. I know it's late for the East Coasters, but that's what we got. So, you got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Thanks again, guys. Watch all of these social media handles. Look for the updates. Join the Patreon. And remember, guys, if you have a review for anything about this episode, just put it on the Apple reviews with a 5-star review next to it, and we might read it or not.
You will read it. I'll read the 5-star, guaranteed.
Even if it's a negative comment, we're going to read it. And hopefully they're all positive. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
I want to